up their composition. When it came to Ascent, things really haven't been going very well. So again, a composition change makes a lot of sense. When it comes to Breeze, they've actually had an incredible record on it, only losing, I think, one of the first times they played it to Fnatic. Other than that, they've looked very good, but clearly they're testing out, I guess, what everybody wanted, which was, please, Sliggy, go back to Duelist Scream. It's my favorite. I don't like seeing him on other agents. So, well, this map he was a Duelist anyway, but now we get Reyna.
I'll be honest, man. Am I the only one that wants Breach back on Scream? I love those days. Those were fun days, but hey. On the Reyna, I can't really complain, can I? Nice shot by Hoodie. This retake from Vodafone Giants. Well, actually doesn't start out that well as Hoodie goes down over on that left side peak, giving a heal up to Scream, who's now got that little bit of extra armor on the overheal. Blitzing in from mid, the wall goes up, and Scream takes another head, even catching David P in the corner, who's going to be taken down. A phenomenal round from Scream with 3 quick kills on the board. And Sulka's doing a bit of the heavy lifting as well. Team Liquid get away with a flawless round, and that's exactly the start they want here. But we've seen these second rounds be a problem a couple of times.
Yeah, now I feel like you're trying to will it into existence, but yeah, we've definitely seen a few shakier ones. I am like, to say that we haven't seen a whole lot of Reyna on this map would be a bit of a lie, because there are a few teams that have been throwing it in. Like if you look towards the likes of Vitality, we saw it from Brams, which was really enjoyable, especially on the defensive side. He was just so aggressive and taking so much control, so maybe there's been a little bit of influence coming in from them, but I do think we might just be getting a Reyna day from Scream and probably won't see this going into the EMEA stage.
No more Viper.
And this is clearly going to be a faster play by Liquid, taking advantage of the open space on the A side, avoiding the close range duels that could be found on B, but Sulcus is kind of going for some close range fights of his own and be baited into the open by him, so Cryptix can finish him off. Meadow's going to rely on the power of the right click, and although it can be strong this time around, it doesn't quite make the cut. Dino down and out. Every member of Team Liquid still alive. Coming into round number 3 works wonders for the credit economy. But in the early stages, Tom, especially because some of these guys were taking a bunch of damage, you're still reinvesting into armor, so you're probably buying the full shields. And then, obviously, you'll have some weaker weapons coming into this round, which is acceptable. It's a hard bonus for them, but back-to-back flawless rounds later in the game will certainly mean a lot more than they do in those first 2.
Well, the main worry as well for Giants is it means their ult economy is as bad as it could be. They've not claimed a single orb other than deaths. Like, they're the only orbs that they've got so far, because especially on this map, the attackers have a huge advantage when it comes to both orbs. Like, they're in positions where you basically have to take a pretty big risk to try and garner that control when you're on the other side. And especially when you have an agent like Sky who can get the Seekers so regularly, like, claiming those early orbs is just going to be an easy thing for Liquid to continuously fight for. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them do that. In this sort of round, it looks like they're just going to go for an execution onto the A site, try and take this one as a team. And of course, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we see some maybe late play coming in from Link, who was so incredible yesterday.
It'll have to be quite a late round play because they're grouped up right now, looking to push straight through the choke point. The flash comes in, another Lear up high, and no angle's really safe to peek until a little bit later, and that's when Fatino and David P strike on that backside. A kill or 2 each, leaving Link all by himself. That lurk through Tube not going to be working out this time around, as he now has to retake the site essentially with a Spectre.
30 seconds left.
Good duel on the first, but now they just hold range. And with the spike down, he has no choice but to go forward. And there he goes.
Hoping to maybe try and get the rifle out of that one. Realistically, could have just fallen back at that point and kept it into the next round. But hey, it was a bonus round. I think on this map in particular, like, you're even seeing players switch up to the Vandal just because of the extra ranged headshot. Like, winning that out with a Spectre was basically impossible. So it's no real surprise just yet. I do have to say I'm glad to see Soulcast back on his Sky. It definitely hasn't performed badly today on the server, like, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is the agent where he's almost like made a name for himself, and on this map in particular, it definitely has come firmly into fashion. The only other counterpoint, though, is the fact that a lot of the time when you see executions on this map, the drone is so impactful. Like, especially picking off players in like these close, awkward angles. I think you're going to rely heavily on Scream to almost lure people out of spots and like leave them blind as they push into the site, because they're going to have to actively clear those angles as a team.
They've made a lot of ground. A lot of ground here. Completely open halls. Now, unfortunately, you can't get past that tripwire without breaking it. So they have a bit of a decision. Do they go for the door, swing it wide open? In fact, I almost think they're going to bait this out. Solka's popping the door, popping flashes. Meanwhile, the back is being covered. You see that Yampi is just holding with the operator, waiting for the rotate from the B side so they can catch a player off. This is why they're delaying like this. Constantly opening the door, trying to cause a distraction, and the B players are eventually on their way. This is where Yampi gets the opportunity to strike and take a free kill, and it's Ambi that falls. They've now cut the side in two, the map in two essentially, and I thought they would go back to B, but instead they keep running at the A site. David P is still in position though, and he's causing a lot of time to run off that clock, but Solkas takes him down. Okay, that was what we were waiting for. With that kill, I think he can see him. Meadow, if Meadow had a wide swing there, he might have been able to stop that plant, but instead he drops into an operator, loses his life, and loses the round. 3-1 on the board for Liquid. And a fairly well-handled round. I mean, I like a lot of what they did there. Pushing up through halls really being the key control that they got. And, well, a shame for the rotate that came in from Ambi.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially considering how that round started, it was actually looking pretty good for Giants. Like, the amount of time I think that David P was able to survive, that's something he seems to be so good at when it comes to these defensive holds. But, yeah, for Liquid being able to break back in this scenario, pretty big. Now does Link, he's only gonna have a pistol in this round, so financially they're still in quite an awkward position. Could have probably got him something extra, maybe a Bulldog Guardian, something like that, but they might not need it. Already a solid start for Yumpy on this operator. I do have to say, like, seeing him back on the jet op is just so much more exciting, especially on this attack side. It just gives him so much more opportunity to take risky peeks, fight into this A site, and try and make things that little bit tougher for some of his opponents. Now, he's going to spot Vitinho. He has popped the Blade Storm here. Well within his right to try and find something back in response, but for now, Liquid have slowed right down, and again, it looks like it's just going to be a telegraphed A hit.
Definitely a favorite, and we've seen from Liquid before, they don't mind hitting the same side again and again. Over an Icebox, the rinse and repeat was there almost every single time. But shut down out of Fatino, the player with the Blade Storm activated, gets nothing done. In fact, the entirety of Vodafone Giants follow suit with just one kill in this round. Team Liquid have convincingly got a fourth on the board and shut down the buy of Vodafone Giants.
You can just see that Scream's just having fun. I genuinely believe that this is his favorite agent, just because of you see the look on his face when he's playing this agent. I would love someone to do like a little side-by-side of the cams of when he's playing Reyna and when he's playing KO, and just look at the difference. Like, obviously it helps that they're winning, but it just, I don't know. It just seems like it's a comfort choice for him, and the risks and the movement that he's able to pull off with this agent just looks so different to anything else we've seen. And the fact is, as I said, like, personally, I'd like to see a Sova within this composition. I think at this moment on the map, it's a very powerful agent, but at the same time, if you asking me what would I rather see Scream play, it's always going to be Reyna, just because of, as said, the way that he plays.
I mean, when you think about giving Scream, a player who thrives off of aggressive plays, who thrives off of just taking duels and leaving nothing on the table, and you think about giving him the ability to play as he wants and have an escape, have an exit to every fight he takes. That's why when he took up Jet in a non-opping sense, we were over the moon. We really enjoyed watching him play that, entering for the team. Sure, his stats took a little bit of a hit, but as is to be expected on that attack side when you have to play that role. But now on the Reyna, he's in an even more comfortable spot because he's not relied upon to be that guy that breaks through utility, that breaks through sites, that gets past the Viper util in the same way that you do on a Jet, which often ends in your death in a trade. Instead, he can be that front man or even the second guy in that's trading out Yampi and finding a lot of space in his own right. That is when they need to do that. Because a lot of the time, from what we're seeing so far, Tom, it is just straight up domination in these early stages of the round. Like that last round, they ran over them like water. And right now, Vodafone Giants only have pistols. Which is why I'm kind of surprised that they're spread out so much. this is the kind of round where I think the approach of the previous would make more sense, because now, look at that. They've just gotten, for 950 credits, they've gotten a one-shot kill and spotted no one else outside B. So they can go and get that rifle for free.
By the looks of it, the rest of the players are going to go straight back into that A site. It looked like they were attempting to play some sort of default, which I'm not really against, just in the case of trying to deny aggression, but maybe the peak was a little bit much. For now, though, just making sure that making very sure that there is nobody behind that box. I think he's spammed about 5 different bullets. If someone managed to dodge all of those, well, we'd have had to pull off a miracle. Now, they are going to have information of at least where the majority of the players are, but there is one where the defenders, well, they're not going to have a clue he's here.
That shot doesn't land, though. And Fatino with the recovered rifle is able to take him down. This is starting to look scary for Team Liquid. Amanda's advantage seekers out to reveal their positions. Cryptic's on the back side does well, but Ambi coming in with the Sheriff yet again puts the numbers in their favor for but a second. It is unfortunately too late to get anything done. That spike will take Cryptic's down, though. So at least that's something. Great economic damage done by Vodafone Giants in this round. They take down 4 players, which on the buy that they had is completely reasonable, and put themselves into a 4-round lead.
Yeah, it took some heroics from Cryptics. I will say I was fairly confident just watching Link slowly come up behind them on the map. Like, I think it was eventually checked for, but Meadow was unable to win that duel versus the rifle, and then the time was so incredibly low. But as I said, yeah, in isolation, it's a pretty good round, but they need to start getting some on the board for themselves. Now, we've seen thus far, Liquid's attack has definitely been the better of the two. Like, it's not really been called into question, especially consider, I think they lost, was it 8-4 or something like that yesterday versus Fnatic on this map, and then managed to turn the tide once again on the attack and bring it all the way back. So we're expecting a big half here for Liquid, but that doesn't necessarily mean this map is over.
Exactly. I mean, look at the previous map and the comeback that occurred there. Very reasonably, had Liquid have started on the other side, it might have been the comeback from Giants, you know, from far behind that won them the map. So definitely isn't over till it's over. But Tino is just shutting them down. The attempted mid split through double doors to the A site is put to a halt pretty quickly. Now Link is coming on a flank that's being watched. Ambi is more than ready for this to come through. Oh, jump spotting it, doesn't see him. A lot of noise being made. Players flashed outside or in middle. I think that was Vodafone Giants, right? The pop that flash was Hoodie that blinded them, so that's information to play with again. And Meadow should be more than ready for this push to come through. His teammates are hearing the steps. A couple of these guys are tagged up. Link manages to take down Ambi, though. They're all caught behind this wall. Hoodie is playing a very aggressive game. He could have been spammed down instantly. In fact, Meadow is the one to receive a couple of bullets. As Hoodie falls, Meadow on 20 HP backside is now under threat. Manages the first, but he's gone. There can be a plant now secured. Oh my god, Cryptix has got another. It's Fatino having to clutch this out. How has it spiraled out of control like this? A Viper's Pit almost completely counters that operator from getting back into the site, and Link is going on an incredibly long flank, making his way through the spawn. Oh, Tom, this is really devastating for Vodafone Giants, and they might even lose that operator in the end.
It's a brilliant round from Link in general. Like, the second they lose those opening picks, it just seems like it was just his world from then onwards, like fighting around, taking so much control. But you have to almost look at, I think the only duel they won from that point onwards was, at least from the perspective we saw, Meadow hitting a completely blind shot on the player who was running at him. So other than that, they just played isolated duels. Like, it looked rough again for Giants, that they were not able to synergize in any of those spots. And well, I hate to say it because it's normally an ultimate we don't talk about too much, but that neural theft actually gives them the perfect timing to kill off the man trying to rotate in behind. This man, how's he so good with the Marshal? I don't understand.
Like we said on Icebox a couple days ago, just let this guy play Marshal all the time. Screen, getting away with a kill there. Flash blinds him up, but he's ready to fight with his teammates on backside. The wall's soon to fall, but they just go right on through it. Into Fatino's face, taking him down. This is looking a little bit shaky for Vodafone Giants. They've got... Link is going on a flank play? All right, I thought he was rushing all the way through. That would have been ludicrous. He's going to hide in the corner, though, and have a little bit of a whiff, but he recovers it. regains control with Ambi being the last alive. I don't think his chances are too great. This man with a sheriff, scary to look at.
He knows where both players are. Unfortunately, Cryptix is going to end that before it really gets started. Again, these Antica rounds for Liquid have not been clean, but I feel like I want to give more credit over to Giants rather than take it away from Liquid. They just seem to be so good with weaker weaponry, but again, we're looking at such a dominant half. Now, I still stand by the fact that if it ends up with like maybe 4 rounds on the board for Giants, they still have an opportunity to win this map. As I said, the defense has not been anywhere near as good. I think it was especially the B site yesterday where we saw, I think it was Cryptix and Link getting overwhelmed quite a bit with these faster pushes coming through. So it's not like this is done completely. Maybe for the moment it is.
Well, at 7-1, yeah, it's we know that coming into the next half there can definitely be a little bit of a turnaround, but the reality is, for now, this is a dominant show. That round where Fatino finds 2 kills and it flips on its head, they somehow manage to 3-man lurk through mid, get into the B side. That's really a kick in the teeth. Now, just to let the people at home know, we have a little bit of a tech issue, so they're going to be working on that in the background while we sit here and have a little bit of a chat. But luckily, there's plenty to talk about. I mean,
I was going to say, do they know that we're not Pansy and Hyper? Because I don't want to be on, like, I don't ask to be on camera midway through matches. Like, they normally, like, obviously Pansy specifically wants to be on camera, like, in the middle of games. Like, she goes, okay, I need a 5-minute segment. We'll pretend there's some sort of technical issue, and then you'll bring us up on camera. But that's not us. Like, I would like the game to start. So production, if you could start the game, that'd be fantastic. All right.
Oh, look at that, Tom.
Thank you.
That's perfect. We're keeping you on schedule for your next Butler duel in about an hour, right? So we should be good to go by then.
See, Pansy, that's how it's done. You just ask production nicely to start the game. It's not hard.
That's the problem, you know. Pansy and Hypoc, they never ask politely. You know, they're always aggressive. They're too scary. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well,
I think she's going to challenge me to a duel after this.
Yeah, she's going to get your Butler's
and I will lose.
Well, we're 7-1 up as we rejoin the game. Team Liquid have been dominant, even in rounds that start well for Vodafone Giants, much like this one. David P shuts down Yampi's aggressive play through middle. Link is trying to get his way in here and help the team out, but David is just firing on all cylinders, taking heads left, right, and center, as Team Liquid now find themselves on a significant back foot. But this isn't the first time that they faced a 3v5, and as we just spoke about, the last one ended with Vodafone Giants getting absolutely dominated. So hopefully this time there's a little bit of a change.
The Giants almost look like they're playing just to deny any sort of luck play through the back. They've got 3 players currently towards their spawn right now, just to try and stop any like risky rotation that would be attempted by Liquid. And they've got this spot on. It would take some incredible shots to try and hit that, even on like a layered approach as well, slightly higher than the other. Like if Soulcast had hit that shot, it would have been utterly ridiculous. Now they have been spotted out, and they are going to get themselves a plant. There's not really much that the remaining players are going to be able to do about that. But with David P coming in from behind, the rest of the players looking to surround them, this is going to be a really hard hold.
Yeah, it's a tough one for sure. Cryptic's falling. It's looking done. Scream's got to ace clutch this. The first one's there, but that is it. And a second round for Vodafone Giants at long last. Perhaps they're happy about the tech pause. They got to have a little bit of a think on how they wanted to approach that.
Yeah, I do think part of it as well, though, is that Liquid, after the pause, almost thought a similar thing and just went for a very aggressive B play. That's not something we've seen from them at all so far. So I wouldn't expect like the same thing to happen once again. And also, it looked like Giants had an incredibly good read. Like they had the majority of their players on that side of the map very, very quickly into the round.
I'll say the slow play through Tube, and especially to the A side, has been working out incredibly well for them. I do like the fact that Vodafone Giants have adapted. They're now putting their Cypher with a tripwire right on the Viper wall. That's actually pretty huge, with Viper then rotating to play B. So they can pretty much wall up and then get vision on these players as they come through, pretty much granting a free kill, at least in theory. And the wall that's put down by Team Liquid perfectly plays into this. If Yampi dashes out, he is dead 100% of the time. And there it is. He's tagged up and he doesn't get killed initially, but Fatino is there to take him down. The problem is that grants the trade, and now Meadow needs a huge play lurking inside the cage, but they've even detected him, taking him down and putting Team Liquid into the advantageous spot with the spike planted. And the worst part is Solkis is only now starting to come out. The flash was perfect for Screen to take down Ambi, and then they just closed the door behind them. This is gorgeous play by Team Liquid to leave David P all by himself. Link's flanks have been on point, and David P returns once more. The B site player that never seems to get the action. And that's the thing, Tom. We just saw in the last round, when they come to his site, he's popping off. He's finding 2 kills, 3 kills, shutting them down. But then most of the time, they just seem to go the other side, and he sat there in a 1v4 or in a 1v5 like, all right, guys, I guess I'll drop you next round.
Yeah, not really much he could do. I do love the play from Scream there. He knows that there's someone within the cage, so he just spams it, runs back through the screen, keeps spamming his pistol, like just right-clicking through, and then Cryptix just peeks and goes, oh, he's just right here. Just like the final kill and the ultimate distraction play. But yeah, their entries into this A site have been phenomenal. Like the openers that they've been able to get so many rounds in a row. It seems like pretty much everyone on their team is popping off. Yumpy hasn't really had to do too much, but he still had an opener or 2 with the operator. And on the other side, there's only been a few glimmers of hope. Like I think Fatino getting his op back in hand could be a difference maker. Like he had a moment or 2 earlier on, but that was the 3v5 they lost. He gets 2 openers, they lose it with the rotation going in the other direction. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if, again, we're just going to see a straight-up A hit.
Well, there's going to be a bit of an adaptation from Vodafone Giants playing more aggressive. Unfortunately, it does not see a reward. But Ambi now alone on the site. Recon goes in. It's actually going to tag up Screen, but they can't do anything to him. He is safe behind those concrete slabs. And so Vodafone Giants, again, face into a retake. Hunter's Fury will slow it down, but without finding any tags, any kills, it's really worthless.
He's such a rat.
I don't know how
it has to be said. He's that player that you never want to play against, because somehow he always seems to slip the timing. Just look where he currently is. Like, come on, man. I wonder if maybe they've spotted the rotation, and because of this, they're actually going to check. If Meadow clears this, I was going to say he's a genius, but oh no.
Yeah, it's not pretty, is it? Ambi trying to hunt him down, but he gets shot in the back by the players coming through. And David P, he's like, guys, I'm on A. I'm on A for once. Where are they? Let me at him. Let me at him. Oh, it's planted B. Well, David P returns yet again in a 1v4. It's just so consistent. He's always the last guy.
It's A. It's A. It's A. He's like, okay, fine. I'll rotate early, guys. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be
guys,
there
I think it might be B.
At the one round he leaves his site, Link lurks through and just wrecks them. I mean, Dave is having a rough time here, and it's not even on misplays. Yeah, honestly, that's the worst part. I actually don't think he's doing anything wrong. I think he's playing perfectly, but you're still losing the rounds, and that's going to be infuriating from his perspective, because you're literally, what more can I do?
He has been in the wrong place at the wrong time every time. Single round except one, and they won it. Like that's the worst thing about this. It's just painful. Liquid again. Like I think Link. The second POVs come out, I'm gonna be watching just Link. Like it's so enjoyable just to see how much space he's able to get, the timings he's managed to slip. Because that's the thing. It's almost like it's one of those skills that I just feel like it's not something you can really learn, and it's just hitting the exact timing more often than not. Because the thing is, you're never going to do it every single time. He seems to somehow manage to do it, but it's more so just making it so that your team are getting more value than they're losing. And in this map in particular, he's getting so much value for the team. They're even looking to hunt him down now. And somehow, he knows. He just goes back and hides.
This aggressive play by David P is a really nice adaptation. I think Link has seen him. I think that Cam might have spotted the barrel as he came around the corner initially.
Welcome to my
Because he is being very, very conscious as the site gets hit. Oh no! David P swings at just the wrong moment. So Link gets dropped. But Fatino goes down. Numbers evened up. Liquid potentially pushing to double digits at the halftime. It would be a ridiculous half if they managed that. And 3 players are now spotted inside of halls. David P in with another from the operator. He's getting involved in the action at last, Tom, finding those opportunities, but Solkis is about to make that sky play. The aggressive flash, and oh no, so much damage done, but he doesn't manage to get the third. This round stays close, and in fact, a Viper's Pit on the other side is going to be pushed through. Meadow, the last remaining player, gets dropped on by Yampy with a shorty. What? What a way to finish it. Oh my.
I love Yumpy's celebrations. just hyping everyone up, but yeah, but the thing is, this is why Solcast has been so good on this agent. Like those little pop flashes, he just seems to, again, just get the timing right so often. 10-2 Now, we've said it already that the attacking side has definitely been where Liquid thrive within this map, but there's not a lot of wiggle room here for Giants. They basically, pistol, if anybody didn't know, is a necessity here to just get them off the starting block, but even that shouldn't be enough. Like, there's going to be enough buy rounds for Liquid to at least steal 1 or 2 away, and then they've already made it to overtime.
That's a problem, right? Like, you can sit there and tell me that you've got a better attack or they've got a better defense, whatever it is, but pistols are often random. They're often coin flips. You don't want to be relying on the entire map being a coin flip and having to make a reverse sweep in the series. Team Liquid, man disadvantage, though. Things are starting out well for Vodafone Giants, and that's even better with Scream shut down and a little flank play by David P. But numbers are equalized yet again. Solkis still online with a flash to play with. It definitely helped them in pushing into the site. Team Liquid have plenty of time on the clock. I mean, they can run this one down. They just got to play it together. But they're actually going to split up a little bit, and Solkis is having a tough time. The right click finishes him off, and an attempted sneaky play by Cryptic's detected, but now he's close. One headshot would finish this one off and put Liquid in an on impossible to lose situation, and he gets it across the line. The defuse? No, there's no time. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, there looked like there should be no way that he's able to isolate those duels. Like, they basically had him in a perfect crossfire when he walked through, but the timing for Tinio to go around the corner couldn't have been worse, but luckily for them, they burnt enough, or he burnt enough off the clock that they will get their third round just by a scrape. Now, I'll be curious to see whether or not there's going to be any risky investments here. We know, of course, that this map and the Marshall just seem to go hand in hand, and especially when you consider that at some point we're probably going to have to get a bonus round coming out from Giants. They're going to go a bit heavier on the rifles. This man and they're the Marshall team. That's what it is. They're the Marshall team. They can just do it with the sniper every single time.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Solkis being spotted up. Deep Flash gets himself. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, with the Viper wall where it was, I know how it happens. I appreciate that. Meadow,
he just didn't want to see his death coming.
Yeah.
He's just like, if I'm going to die, I don't want to be looking at it.
And that's why I wanted Meadow to back up. Playing against Yampy's Sheriff, never a good idea, and especially when you can give him a rifle for free. Now, playing exits here might not be a bad idea. Link is starting to move in through halls, but there's a flank play from David P to nobody's surprise. This guy has been trying to match Link for those flanks. He should get some serious reward here. Yampy looking the other way. Link on his way through mid, but I don't think they're going to catch him. He's an opportunity to maybe... Oh, that was an interesting dash. Dave is actually closing in on him. He went straight for halls, dropped down below. Yeah, he's just dying to the spike. I mean, it's a really good idea. It's something that I was surprised earlier when, I can't remember who it was, but we had an Omen peek in like a 1v2 at the end rather than die to spike. And when you're an Omen, when you're a Cypher, like these kind of players, it really isn't worth going for a kill. If you drop... Ults. Exactly. In terms of the ult economy, it's not worth it. If you can drop a weapon, sure, but you also don't know. You could be facing into a guy that has a ghost. And at that stage, it's absolutely not worth it to be, you get an ult orb and maybe you give one to a Jet or to a Viper. And that's not a good trade.
I have the spike.
Well, this is that bonus round. But as said, like they've gone heavy on the rifles here, realizing that they can't afford to almost play it for the financial side of Valorant. They need to be winning these rounds. So they're going to keep this in play. How is Yumpy going to be able to bypass that trip? Solcas, he's going to ping the cam. At least try and remove some of the information. And there it goes. Now, Yumpy... Oh, he's pushing into the whole team. He needs to at least get one here, otherwise it's not worth it. And well, even still, that's going to be an upgrade, potentially, for Vitinho. But he's actually got to get out of there, because he's somewhat stuck. Never mind. Hoodie's just going to come through and hit 2 insta-headshots, making this A site pretty damn vulnerable, especially with Link still on the other side of the map.
Yeah, huge work. Team Liquid have got an uphill battle to fight, that's for sure. Vodafone Giants still yet to push the side, but you can see they're grouping up for an A hit. They're just waiting to see if anybody pushes into them first. About as good of a start as you could hope for. Let's go down and get that plant.
30 seconds left.
Who's going to be planting it here? Not Meadow, surely. What? Okay, they're going to play
Spike
deep,
planted.
but I mean, Sky would have had ulti online. I guess maybe gambling that he'll get a kill or an orb in next round. Even give it to...
Well, they just didn't think about it.
David, Vitinho, give it to anyone. Literally anyone but Meadow would have been perfect.
Yeah, I think it was just something overlooked, making sure that they're getting the round over the line, and well, the remaining 2 players from Liquid just going to be saving the weaponry they have, give them something to fight with in the next round. But yeah, it's solid. Just brawling in this round at least. The aggression being attempted by Liquid not working out, and as said, like, they're in a spot where they can afford to let a few of these rounds slip. Like, take some of those plays, like, use the more aggro peaks to try and take those fights. But realistically, for Giants, they know that this is a grind. And as we've already sort of alluded to, Liquid's defensive side on this map has not been great. Like, as said, when it came to, in fact, both of the victories that they've had recently, they only got 4 rounds on their defensive side, which, of course, here they do only need themselves 3. The loss versus Fnatic only got 4 rounds, and it's against some of the potentially... Oh, no, yeah, and even again, like Vitality, only 5 to close things out. It's been their attack that has been prominent. Now, they had an incredible attack, but you do have to feel like if Giants can string a few rounds together, it's game on.
Absolutely, yeah. The comeback is possible at this point. The same goes for Team Liquid, right? Those ultis come online, game starts to really shift over into their control. Now, for now,
cheese it a bit.
Vodafone Giants getting round wins, getting plants is fantastic. Their ult economy is really thriving. Look at Solcas' push. It's already... Oh, Meadow's ready for it. What a shot, man. They had 0 information and still get away with that. Team Liquid going to be devastated by losing a player that early on. They do still have Link, though, ready to push on an off timing. But with Yampy falling, this side is under heavy threat. And there's 2 players stuck there, not able to find a single tag. 0 damage from Team Liquid until Link strikes. But that's in a 1v5. Full health enemies, ultis online. What do you do here? I mean, surely there's no way Link gets away with it. He is ready for that mid push, but it doesn't matter. David P's too quick to hit the shot. 10-6 we go.
Yeah, they're keeping it nice and clean as well. Sure, there's a few ultimates that are very close to coming online for Liquid, but the same can be said for Giants, so we're almost still on an even playing field. Now, this is going to be what I imagine will be the first time we see the Operator, and yeah, so Yumpy's going to have that. No matter what happens in this round, unless, I guess, he saves, he's going to have his ultimate online for the next as well. Empress is online. Viper's Pit is 1 away. But on the other side, they almost have all 5 ultimates. 2 orbs needed to guarantee the last few. And yeah, the credits are through the roof. So if there was ever going to be a comeback from a 10-2, now this would probably be it.
3 players facing into max money is pretty ridiculous. We'll have 9K coming into the next round, so operators can come out for them. For now, this is almost like an extra little bonus because they've been losing so little. So they're more than happy with where they've ended up at. 10-6, a round that Vodafone Giants really need to stop Team Liquid from running away. Or at least taking that one step closer to an OT. The drone, does it check the right side as it comes on through? It does, and it's seen Yampy. Now he's in trouble. He dashes up behind, but it's not enough. The classic out. Ambi shuts him. But he... Oh! That was such good, like a little bait and switch. You've got one spamming through the door, then screen swings wide. The plant coming in over on the B side, and it will be secured. They're going to look to try and knock Link out of position, but he's already on him. just evading detection, jumping up on the site. I guess they thought he would try and deny the plant in the first place, and the patience pays off with another kill for Link. It's all on to Ambi. He's coming into the window now. He spots him and gets the kill. Okay, it's a 1v1, and Scream is spotted coming up through elbow. He's actually bunny hopping on the site and seeing the whole way. Ambi with 3 to get a clutch. And another round for Vodafone Giants. They desperately needed this one, and now they're just 3 away from equalizing, and Team Liquid have no money.
Yeah, he had a really rough first half, Ambi did, but he's managed to come back into things. And considering he was using his Hunter's Fury on the other side of the map not too long ago, I think they were expecting that they had more time to try and get this one through. I don't know if Scream thought he repositioned it, but this definitely didn't go the way he was hoping it to. just dancing in front of his opponent, trying to make sure that none of the shots were connected, but it's worked out wonderfully and in such an important round for Ambi. Now again, we're going to have this weaker purchase coming through for Tino, already going to kick things off onto Scream. I believe we might have to Blade Storm in for Yumpy, but they're all on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, the gamble stack not quite working, but Team Liquid have a second plan, right? Which is that fast play down through middle. They're ready for someone to be close. That's so easy for Yampy. That blind worked out. David P is down. Now, man advantage is there. Rifle dropped over to a teammate. Team Liquid looked like they're in a decent spot. With the numbers evened up, this Blade Storm has to be the difference maker. And Yampy has the chance to take some long-range duels. Hoodie is on his way back towards main, but he catches the angle around that cloud burst. Perfectly positioned. Oh, that bait. Patino's getting him interested, making Cryptic's peek, and then taking him down. And it's all on to Link yet again. A 1v4, a 0v4. Vodafone Giants are in this game, Tom. They really, really are. Yeah. And you said it earlier that Team Liquid are very strong in their attack, but their defense might not be so strong. You foreshadowed exactly what we're seeing on our screens.
Yeah, did you almost hope that there'd be something to sort of take them over the line? They've tried more aggressive pushes into the cave. They've tried to take mid control. I even think that the flash there was genius. Like the fact that he pops it over the top of his head so that he gets blinded from behind and gives them an extra gun. But other than that, like, again, it's both teams struggling with the same thing. Like these A-site defenses, I don't think there's many teams that have got a good hold on it. In fact, a lot of teams just play for retake. So I wonder if that might be some sort of counter for Liquid, especially with the amount of ultimates, again, like that they're going to have online. You have to hope that they'll be able to bring something through here. But again, you've still got David P's Viper's Pit, which could eventually be used in some closer afterplant spots. It's no surprise that Liquid are taking a tactical pause here. The fact that they've now lost, I think it's 6 rounds in a row, it's past the point of dangerous territory. Like, this is now getting into a position where they could realistically lose a map where they were 10-2 in the lead.
It is strange as well, because when you look at the adaptations that they've made, they've been consistently looking for new avenues, whether it's looking to push down through B, get that control, go on the early flank. They'll try to fight from middle. They've stacked up on A. They've put their tripwires close. Like, they've tried so many different things, and it looks like nothing is working for them so far. I mean, they're not even finding an inch into a lot of these rounds. So I'm looking at Vodafone Giants here, and they're all the way down through halls. There's nothing there to slow them. Scream has to take duels, but he gets blocked off by this orb, and he's going to go forward through the poison orb and get dropped instantly by David P. That is a disaster. Spawn is now open, and they need to rotate one in to watch it. That's Solkus, who's waiting for the poison orb to go down. But Vodafone Giants, they're just posturing. They're faking out this control and starting to move back, but they're ready for Solkus to peek through. He's going to pop a flash and reveal nobody, but that's Fatino's opportunity, I thought, to take a fight. Instead, actually taking even more passive.
Back.
Oh, that timing is going to be terrible.
Spike down A.
Well, that's all the information they needed. 45 seconds left. Spike going to be dropped, and Yumpy in with an opportunity here. He's going to get spotted out by the cam, but I don't think he minds too much. He's going to try and get that little bit more aggressive. The problem now, though, is that they've got to be careful of that flank. Link, he might be about to fall victim to his own trap, as what they did was basically re-aggress through, and now looking to try and face this one together. David P might be in the prime spot. They're actually watching the elevated angle, but here comes the perfect flank from both players, peeking at the same time. And, well, Link's just been beaten at his own game. That was wonderful from Giants. A fantastic round.
For a team that was down 10-2, they didn't even seem perturbed by that situation. They were completely happy to play back into it, and that's the sign of a great team. Another thing I have to credit Vodafone Giants with so early on in the history of this lineup, the fact that they are able to keep themselves in it mentally. A team that, Tom, we've asked the question, you know, oh, they say that they don't tilt, that they're a very chill team, a great atmosphere, but it's easy when you're winning every single map, when you only lose your icebox. But what about when the going gets tough, right? When it's 10-2 down on Breeze and things are looking pretty bad for you in the grand finals. Well, evidently, they still hold up. You know, they're playing a pretty fantastic game.
Yeah, I think the early life of this team has definitely helped with that, because they have proven that they can pretty much fight back from any scenario. So I guess at this stage, why would you not believe that you can do it? You've already done it before, but this is getting ludicrous. I have to say that the fact that after they see the flash come through from Soulcast and it gets no one, that's the moment they choose to reaggress. Like, they're completely playing with the minds of Liquid here. And as I said, like, they even timed this so that they had one player peeking from the bridge and then the second peeking under it, so that, of course, Link isn't going to have time to correct his crosshair placement. That couldn't have been better played, like, if you'd literally scripted it. That was fantastic.
Vodafone Giants not happy with the first half. They've come in here looking vindictive, and, well, it's a lot of success is being found. The wall up here, the Seekers behind to clear out. They know they're good to push the site, although they all get destroyed very quickly indeed. Still, the information says that the site is clear, so they get that plant down. Now as well, David P's got his ulti online, and I can't help but feel like we're about to have a Viper's Pit on that site to secure the round. Although, it hasn't come through just yet. And Vodafone Giants buying their time, and actually they're going to play more of a dedicated post plant on this one, obviously avoiding giving the Pistols the chance to fight inside a Viper's Pit. A wise choice, and one that might pay off if they stop losing players. As those Seekers go out, they start to reveal people, and shots are landing left, right, and center. David P is the last man alive. He's blinded up, and he can't even get out. The defuse coming in puts Liquid on 11, and somehow the retake on the A site with Pistols is where they finally find their first round on the defensive side, Tom.
Of all the rounds to lose, like, of all of the rounds to lose, you get a free after plant. All your players are alive when you get the spike down, and then, wow, yeah, Soulcast hitting some wonderful shots, but even still, like, that should never have gone back in that direction. I think they're going to be absolutely kicking themselves. It's almost like they've gone for the ultimate fake comeback. Get yourself within one round, winning 7 in a row, and then losing to Pistols in pretty silly fashion. Liquid, though, that might be the lease of life they were looking for, of giving them an avenue back into the map. Vitinha, though, don't give him too many opportunities to hit that shot.
It looked almost like Vodafone Giants were a bit intimidated when they pushed into that A site. You know, they got control, and what we had seen before when they were versus Pistols is they started swinging deep into the site. They drop the wall, they start to look for aim duels on range, flash through, whatever it is. But this time, they play much more passive. They play for dedicated post plants, and that extra space that was given to them allowed Liquid to just get up in their face. Now, this time, we're going to see a very deep Viper's Pit come online, but nobody's pushing into it. In fact, not even David P is close by. The Viper utility keeping him out for now. And he'll have to take a step into that, or it's going to dissipate pretty soon. There we go. He's inside now. On pretty low HP as he walked through. Still only on 80. As the effects wear off Cryptics. Absorbs a couple of bullets there. But it looks like he's still hiding his position. He's thinking about going in. The timing is going to be key. As David P starts to rotate back. The fake being sold, but Soulcast has the perfect position to get an early flank. He's hearing the steps. He knows they're there. And the timing on this walk up behind, it's going to be so important. David P might just catch him. In fact, David has been heard coming up behind. He's made it around the corner. No one spotted him, but he thought he was seen. So he fires away a little bit too early. Soulcast now surrounded, has to find the first to David and push forward. The flash blinds Jet, but there it is from Vitinha. The Blade Storm emerges from the smoke and secures the flank. Now Liquid have a 2 versus 4, and even though a lot of these players are low, it's going to be difficult to isolate those fights and take full advantage of that damage.
getting across to these players is going to be the tougher task, especially with Fatinho posted up on the angle. The first one is for free, straight into the Blade Storm, and Meadow is there to close it out. There are opportunities for Liquid in this round. Soulcast is being the bigger one. The thing I'm actually more confused by is how Hoodie managed to entry that site, because we noted there were multiple players still sat behind. I think the screen even dropped on the site, and he manages to kill a player on the box and on the bridge within a matter of seconds. We may not have seen it, but I don't know how he managed to pull that off with not much support. So yeah, a big round for Giants, straight back on the horse after a slip up. And now financially, Liquid have had to invest a lot back into this round, even to the point where Soulcast is just going to be left with a shotgun.
That might not be a terrible thing, because look at where he's playing. He's inside of halls, ready to catch them as they walk on through. That angle is so perfect for the judge. We rarely see it, and David P will fall as well as Hoodie. A beautiful double opening to put the advantage into Team Liquid's favor. Now, although they lose Soulcast in the end, and therefore a little bit of the control, and that's a shame. Scream can't really afford to play through that cage after being spotted like that. Oh, Yampy, he saw Fatinho. I don't know if the feeling was mutual, and indeed it wasn't. Fatinho's down, out with a wide swing. Yampy's still going, and the dash is online. That means an aggressive play is surely about to follow. Ambi is falling back, though, not giving the opportunities away to the Opper. It might not matter. With a 1 versus 4 to win, Team Liquid could be set to take map point.
A few big individual plays might just be enough to get this one over the line. It's been incredibly shaky. Ambi's got to be careful. He's almost just opened the door wide open for Scream, and I think the spot should now be there. They'll have a decent idea of the direction he's going, and Cryptics, it's going to come down to a 1v1. A chance for him to take a kill. That's something at least. Now, he's got his ultimate for an afterplant, but realistically, is this the spot he wants to be using it? Cam down, but even still, the hesitation has meant that the rotation is thick on his heels. They're, in fact, just going in with the pistols, knowing how low he is. Yumpy will close the round. 12-10. It's taken Liquid a long, long time to find anything, but they get 2 rounds out of 3.
2 rounds out of 3, indeed. Yeah, they're finding the solution at long last. The Vodafone Giants have overtime within an arm's reach. Can almost touch it. So disgusting. I love how he doesn't even use the dash. A lot of people, once they fire, it's an instinct to instantly dash away, just to be sure that you're safe. Yampy has no worries. It's just wide peeking, taking shots.
Dash to left click. There you go. Sorted.
Oh, God. I don't think that would work as you wanted to.
No. It's just like the thing that Lothar was saying. Like, me and him are on exactly the same way.
No,
I'm sure he'll be very happy with that.
I think Lothar's take is far better than yours on these double barns. I'm gonna stick with the stinger play, not the left click to. What if you're playing a different agent? Now all of a sudden you're like putting the cam out every time you shoot.
It'll work. It's genius. They'll be so confused. They'll never understand what's going on. Afterplant again, though. This is something that has now become the norm. Attempting these retakes rather than fighting for a lot of initial control. An early trade. And actually, it's a Hunter's Fury pop, but this could be trouble for Ambi. He is dead here. Scream just wraps around the corner. Even waiting just in case he wants to dismiss. Instead, will take the heal. Yumpy has found another one looking to try and close this, and he has. It's a decent retake. The time ticking fairly far gone, but they will have this one comfortably in the end, as it will be a 13-10 victory. A very well-fought comeback for the side of Giants, but unfortunately, they don't manage to get it all the way through.
No, they don't. Team Liquid just about making it work there.